Hello, and welcome to the Kennel Connection training video for the Online Reservation Real-Time System, or the Olr Rt. The Olr Rt is an advancement on Kennel Connection's online reservation system that allows customers to create reservations that access your database directly for real-time availability information. When you first register your online reservation real-time module, you'll be setting up some basic information in Kennel Connection and on the Blue Crystal software support site. In Kennel Connection, you're going to go to the File tab, Setup section, and select Business Info. In Business Information, you'll go to the BCS Live tab. BCS Live is the program that runs in the background of Kennel Connection, connecting your database with the Blue Crystal software servers, allowing your customers to access information from the database when creating their reservations. The BCS Live status window will show you whether or not your current account is active. Your company ID will be entered in the box below. The company ID section will display your company ID, which is connected with your BCS Live account. And then you will enter your BCS Live user ID and password to allow BCS Live to connect with your database. If ever requested for technical service reasons, the external IP address will display here. To the right, you'll see the Olr Rt settings box, where we can choose to enforce business hours and/or employee schedules. When either of these options are selected, this will restrict the online reservation real-time forms from displaying any times available to your customers outside of business hours or employee scheduled hours. Then you'll want to navigate to the Blue Crystal software support site, support.bluecrystalsoftware.com, and navigate to the Olr control panel. Many of the settings here are the same settings you would use if setting up the original online reservation module. At the top, you'll set up your screen header. This is the message that will appear above the Olr Rt form. Then you'll have an option to use a custom background. In order to use a custom background image, you'll need to enter the URL or link to where the image is stored. This is something that you'll have to store on your own server. It is not something that will be stored on the Blue Crystal software servers. You have the ability to turn on or off online reservations or the new client form. And you can use these fields to create custom messages to appear if Kennel Connection's online reservation is turned off and above the new client form. You can also choose required fields in the new client form. And you can also enable the option to require deposits when creating reservations using the Olr Rt as either a flat rate, a percentage of the full stay, or the first night's stay if it's a boarding reservation. Please keep in mind that the open and closing business hours on the support site are for the old Olr form only and are not the business hours that you would set up to restrict reservations in the Olr Rt. If you turn on enforce business hours for the Olr Rt, those will be the business hours set in the business information section under operating hours. If you have enforce operating hours turned on for the Olr Rt, these hours will be enforced when customers create reservations through the Olr Rt regardless of whether or not you have it turned on to enforce operating hours in Kennel Connection itself. So you are able to restrict customers creating reservations outside of business hours without imposing the same restrictions on yourself or your employees. When setting enforce employee schedules for the Olr Rt, this will go off employee schedules set up in the employee section. To get there, we'll go to File, Set Up Employees. Employee schedules are set up in the employee section by selecting an employee and then going to the Schedule tab. With Enforce Employee Schedules turned on for the Olr Rt and schedules entered in the employee section, customers using the Olr Rt forms will not be able to create an appointment for a specific employee outside of that employee's scheduled hours. When you sign up for the Olr Rt, you will be supplied with the URL or link to go directly to the Olr Rt form. This URL can be linked to directly from your website, and when your customers follow that link, they will see the Olr Rt form here. Any message entered into the header section of the support site will show here at the top of the screen. And if you turn on the new client form, you'll get this message here as well. And if you have a custom background image chosen, it will display in the background like this one is here. When your customers reach the Olr Rt form, they'll need to enter their ID and password and click Sign In. When they click Sign In, the Olr Rt form will connect with the BCS Live on your computer and access the database. When using the Olr Rt, you will need to have the computer housing your Kennel Connection database on at all times and have the BCS Live program running in the background at all times. If the computer housing your database is turned off or BCS Live is turned off, customers will not be able to fill out the form, as the form will not be able to access your database. Our first example here is the boarding Olr Rt. Once the form comes up, your customers will choose the in and out time of their boarding stay and their in and out dates. They will then enter their pet ID and click Submit Dates. When they click Submit Dates, Kennel Connection is going to check the database for availability for the date and time selected, as well as check to see if the pet currently has any reservations in the system. The Show Appointments button will appear on each module Olr Rt form, and clicking it will access any reservations for that pet and display them for the customer, allowing them to check ahead of time whether or not there's a reservation already existing for this pet. Once the Olr Rt is connected with your database and checked for availability, it will bring up the option to choose a run size and run. The run size and run options will only appear if you have Require Run Number turned on in your Kennel Connection program. Once the customer selects their run size and run and enters any special instructions for that reservation, they will click Schedule Appointment. Olr Rt will then check with the database, and if there are no conflicts with the reservation parameters, it will accept the reservation. Now in this case, as a demonstration, I've turned on the deposit function. So if we require a deposit before taking the reservation, we're going to receive this screen where the customer will enter their credit card information and click Submit. In either case, once the reservation has been successfully submitted, the customer will receive this screen. Then if you have confirmation emails turned on in Kennel Connection, the customer will receive the confirmation email for that reservation as they would under normal circumstances. Now let's take a look at the Olr Rt form for grooming reservations. Here the customer will choose the date for the grooming reservation, and they'll have an option to choose the time frame. They can choose for any time during the day, or they can choose morning, afternoon, or evening. Then they'll enter the pet ID and click Submit Date and Time. Once the Olr Rt is connected with the database and confirmed availability, it'll ask the customer to choose the service and the employee. They can choose first available or specify a specific employee. Then they will click Find Appointment. Once the Olr Rt is connected with the database again, it will come back with results based on the selections and will give the customer the available time slots. The duration of the time slots offered will be based on the default grooming duration set in the System Options section of Kennel Connection. The customer will be able to scroll through the options if there's more than one page of available time slots. They can then select the employee and time and click Schedule Appointment. Now let's take a look at the Olr Rt form for Daycare. Once again, the customer will choose the in time and out time and the date range. For a single stay, the customer can choose the same date for the start and end date, or they can choose a wider date range to create a recurring appointment. If they are not scheduling daycare for every day occurring during the date range they've selected, they can uncheck the days here. Then they'll enter their pet ID and click Schedule Appointment. Then we have the Olr Rt form for the training module. Once signed in, the customer will choose whether they are scheduling a one-on-one training, a resident training, or a training class. For the one-on-one, the customer will enter the in and out time for the one-on-one training, choose the date range, enter the pet ID, and then schedule the appointment. For resident training, the customer will select the in time and out time, and the date range. Then enter the pet ID and click Submit Dates. Then the customer will choose the run size and run if you have required run numbers turned on in Kennel Connection. Once they select their run size and run, they can schedule the appointment. For training classes, the customer will choose the training class they want to enroll their pet in. These are training classes that are set up in Kennel Connection in the list section under Training Classes. Once they select a training class, the start date and time and end date and time for that class will be displayed. The customer can then choose pickup or delivery service, and after entering their pet ID, can click Schedule Appointment. And finally, let's take a look at the New Client form if the customer clicks the link here to register as a new client. When the New Client form appears, the customer will enter their information into the fields. Any required fields will be marked with a red asterisk. This is including required fields you select in the OLR control panel on the Blue Crystal Software support site. Once they enter their customer and pet information, they'll click Create Customer, and that information will be sent to Kennel Connection and submitted to the database directly. Please keep in mind that the Olr Rt is a live interface with your database, and reservations created through the Olr Rt will be added to Kennel Connection directly. There will be no option to manually screen reservations as they come in, and new clients submitted through the online reservation RealTime system will be added directly to your database. There will not be an option to choose to reject or accept them. Outside of normal emails in Kennel Connection, there will also be no additional notification to you that a reservation has been created. If you wish to have some kind of email notification that reservations have been created in Kennel Connection through the Olr Rt, the best option for that will be to enable appointment confirmation emails for your customers for each module, and to turn on the option to CC company on confirmation emails, so that every confirmation email that goes to a customer, a copy will go to your business email. This has been a training video for Kennel Connection's online reservation real-time module, taking a look at the setup and usage of the reservation system that allows your customers to create reservations interfacing with your database for live availability information. If you have any other questions regarding the setup and usage of the Olr Rt, please feel free to contact the training department at Blue Crystal Software. You can contact the training department by sending an email to training@bluecrystalsoftware.com, or you can call directly at 888-486-4343, extension 307. For pricing information on the Olr Rt, please contact the sales department directly by either sending an email to sales@bluecrystalsoftware.com, or you can call at 888-486-4343, extension 302.